Hello one and all, this is Hybridsteel. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Today we're going to be going through the cars that are in the long drive. So, got 3 cars here and we're going to go through each one of the pros and cons of why you should be driving which one over the other. So, let's go. Okay, number 1 is the Skoda, based on the actual real car, the Skoda 100. This is a 4-door saloon car with the fuel cap which is at the front on the right hand side. Which in all honesty, I've got to be honest, it's always a little bit weird to fill up a car on the right hand side. The bonnet is your boot, big enough to put one tyre and a few little cans in it. You can fit everything in, but I mean, if you do run out of space, you have got 4 doors. You've got access to the back seat, all good. You could put a body in there and then put all your spares in the back if you really wish. Back of the car is your main engine. This is where your oil tank is, and this is where your coolant tank is. There's no radiator, there's no vents. This car is purely done on water and oil and fuel. It is 4 doors, the second largest car in the game, and it's a little bit springy as well. So what I mean by this is, as you're just about to see, the car bounces quite a lot on the off-road. So I mean, if you come off the road in this game, you're going to bounce around quite a lot. And now with how temperamental this game is, you might fall off the edge of the level and sort of go to your death. Now, the things you have to sort of like make sure you're sort of paying attention to with this car, the doors are very similar to the Lada. They're 3/4 split, but they've got a smaller handle. That's the main difference. So when you're repairing parts of this car, just watch out for the actual sort of like the size of the handle and the size of the door itself, because it won't fit otherwise. As you can see, very, very bouncy suspension. Alright, our next car is the Lada, otherwise known as the VAZ2101 or the Lada 1200 as we all know it. The car itself has a scissor door open on the engine itself, so it opens up and down instead of backwards, and the engine is front mounted with the fuel pump right at the back of the car, which is where most normal cars have it. The boot is big enough to put 2 to 3 bodies in, plus your spare tyre, plus your shopping, plus your jerry can. Let's put it this way, you can get quite a lot in there. And it is the largest car in the game, boasting the largest space, the largest engine, the largest amount of power, and genuinely actually quite easy to handle off-road as well. It won't bounce around as much as the Skoda does, and if you do come off the road, it's easier to right yourself. Just don't forget to replace the tyres, because the tyres are the main attraction to the road. You do need the nice new tyres instead of the crappy, horrible, rubbery ones that are just going to fall off. As you can see, the doors are very, very similar to the Skoda as well. They've got the 3/4 split windows, but the handles are slightly bigger. So that is the main difference between the handles of the Lada and the Skoda. So just watch that when you're repairing these cars up. Now, when I repaired this car, I didn't put the dashboard back in, so that's why you can see straight through to the engine bay. And as you can see, it handles the off-road a little bit better than the Skoda. So you do, this one is, I've got to be honest, my more preferred, because it's a little bit heavier, it's a little bit bigger. Everything sort of works a little bit better when it comes to off-road and on-road, and then fuel consumption. Has the largest tank as well at 39 litres instead of the Skoda, which is 32. And the least favourite that I hate is the Trabant, this horrible little 2-door thing. I genuinely don't like it. Plus side is that it hasn't got a fuel cap, so you don't have to put the fuel in any side of the car. You have to lift the bonnet to actually do that. But it reminds me of Mr. Bean car. It's tiny and green and horrible. Well, the one I picked up anyway. So that's the fuel tank. The downside to the fuel tank in the Trabant over the other two is that you have to mix the oil and the fuel all in one tank. So you have to have 95% fuel with 5% oil. Pain in the arse if you ask me. And then it doesn't have a water cooler. It's cooled by the air, which is the plus side to this car. This car is based on the Trabant 601, which you saw just as the car flashed up. It is a 2-door. You haven't got free access to the back seats. So if you need to store extra stuff, because the boot in this car is honestly so small you can't really get a lot in it, you have to use the back seat, and the back seat is hard to get to because it has no back door. So you have to throw everything over the seats and hope it doesn't fall out the car itself. It's not too bad, but I mean, it does have the smallest fuel tank at just 24 litres, which is the downside. You can't really drive as far with this car. So, thank you very much for joining me. This has been Hybridsteel. If you have liked this video or all the others that are on my channel, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification button below for all other updates. And I'll be back here with another video, live stream, or whatever else I do on my channel. Until then, guys, peace out, have fun, and enjoy everything you guys do. Bye-bye.